Hi, everyone. This is Comedy is Calling on April 5th. Thank you so much to everyone who is watching the show, and thank you to all of our talented comedians that we have performing. I'm very excited to welcome the next batch of comedians, and starting us off is someone who always kills it, always does a great job, and I love his stand-up, and I know you will too. Please welcome the very funny Walter Gottlieb, everyone.
Woo! Hey, everybody, and thank you very much, Stacey, for doing this. I think it's awesome. So I think President Trump is mad at COVID-19 because the virus kind of pulled a bait and switch on him. First, it was only supposed to affect China. Then it was only supposed to kill people over 65. Then it was supposed to just magically disappear. So now Trump is asking if the coronavirus has a return policy, like a smart TV from Best Buy or something. Unfortunately, it's been more than 30 days and Trump lost the fucking receipt, so he re-gifted the virus to the blue states. Now the red states are finally starting to wise up and impose stay-at-home orders. Georgia's governor said he would have imposed the order earlier, but he didn't know that the virus could be spread by asymptomatic people. Come on. That's like saying you didn't know Jesus's mom was a virgin. The last time I saw this many stupid white men in charge of something this important was the Star Wars franchise. Speaking of which, President Trump has now put Jared Kushner in charge of coronavirus response. Let's see, so far, Jared has failed at real estate, running a newspaper, and negotiating Middle East peace. Yeah, let's put him in charge of the fucking pandemic. I can tell you that the Palestinians and the Israelis are very relieved. Don't worry, we will make the peace. You keep son-in-law Kushner occupied. Wait a minute, bad choice of words. Okay. Some good news, though. The Trump administration announced that for the rest of the spring, coronavirus tests will now be pass-fail. Personally, that's a relief because I was afraid the test would affect my GPA. You know you're living in a fucked up country, and I mean a fucked up country. We can't get ventilators to save our lives, but you can order a Dr. Anthony Fauci bobblehead for $25. Please allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery, gag not included. Speaking of which, I have really had it. I got to tell you, I've had it with online grocery shopping. I ordered 2 pounds of Idaho russet potatoes from Amazon Prime, and this is what came. One potato. Like, what the actual fuck? The whole thing got me wondering if that's how the Irish potato famine got started. Seamus, I ordered enough potatoes for the whole village on Amazon Prime. And this is what came. If you thought the movie Far and Away with Tom Cruise was bad, you ain't seen nothing. A few days later, I found my one potato on the kitchen floor with teeth marks in it. Apparently, our cat, Evil Bad Kitty, was stalking and eating it. So I put the potato back on top of the fridge for safekeeping, but a few hours later, I found it on the floor again. At this point, there were so many goddamn chunks missing that it looked like an asteroid discovered by the Jet Propulsion Lab in Pasadena. So I gave up on ordering groceries online, and I went to the store in person. You've probably done this too. And you've probably seen there was a block-long line to get into the store. Then I noticed that the guy guarding the door was only letting in small groups of attractive women. It was like Studio 54 in the 80s. I had to slip the guy at 20 just to get into fucking Whole Foods. Whenever I go inside the store now, I get a little uneasy when I see people wearing black masks and gloves. Are they gonna buy groceries or commit fucking armed robbery? Like, what the hell? I swear I haven't seen this many masks and gloves since my last colonoscopy. That was painful. Shopping, thank you, Jason. Shopping at Whole Foods reminds me of how fucked up our supply chain is. Seriously, they don't have toilet paper, but they have still got chocolates made by lemurs, which makes Tiger King look kind of tame because I'm fairly sure forcing lemurs to make chocolate is animal abuse and slave labor. But that doesn't stop me from eating them. So my wife and I have both been teleworking for the past couple of weeks. I'm in communication, so that's the no-brainer. She's a psychotherapist, and she says her female clients prefer doing therapy by phone, while the male clients prefer video chat because women apparently are more audio-oriented and men are more visual. Of course, I had no clue what she was talking about because I was staring at her boobs the whole time. Okay, that's my time. Thanks as always to the splendiferous Stacey Axler for putting this together. It's an honor to appear with all of you. Please be well.
Thank you so much, Walter. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to welcome our next stand-up. Please make some noise for the very funny Cy D.
Hey. Woo! Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I don't know about you guys, man. I've been sitting at home a lot, and when I sit at home a lot, I eat a lot. Like I'm pretty sure I'm pre-diabetic by now. You know, the signs are all there, right? Like the other day, here's another sign for you. The other day, I got my license plates, my new Maryland license plates in the mail rather. And even those said 2DM HbA1c. For type 2 diabetes mellitus, HbA1c is way off the chart. That's what it says. Man, I'm trying to, like, I think you can still go out for like one run a week or something. I don't know what the rules are. And I go out and I get excited, and I'm not supposed to do that, right? The other day, I went to the park and I saw this elderly Sikh gentleman, right? He's wearing a turban and everything. And he looked like a family friend I knew from India. His name, my family friend's name is Milka Singh. So I ran up to him and it's like, hey, excuse me, sir. Are you Milka Singh? Okay. No, I'm social distancing. And he just ran away. He's got a point. I don't know, man. It's a lot. Like I don't even have a weighing scale at home. And you know, this quarantine is really has me start like questioning my beliefs. Like I was raised a Hindu, but boy, does Ramadan sound like a really good idea right now. You know, it's like 40 days of fasting. I never thought it would be a festival, but I can understand how 40 days of fasting is a festival right now. No, seriously, I think COVID-19 is doing a better marketing job than ISIS, right? That's why they shut down their operations. Like, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Like, talking of ISIS is being better to their employees than Amazon and Whole Foods. I mean, Amazon and Instacart. Like, who saw that coming, right? Like, I know who saw that coming, honestly. It was Senator Kelly Loeffler of Georgia who bought shares in ISIS. Now they have this drug that President Trump keeps talking about, hydroxychloroquine. And he seems to think it works, but I doubt it. Because no GOP senators got those stocks. Like that's how we find out things, right? I don't know, man. It's a weird time. Let's see what else is going to talk about. It's like depressing time. You know, it's people are buying guns, right? People are buying guns. I don't know if you guys are like, how are you going to do? What's a gun going to do for you? Like, I mean, I'm not saying there are no good guys with a gun. All I know is the people who own AR-15s are a salt of the earth people. Assault, guys, assault of the earth. Okay, yeah, fine. No, man, and the other thing that's because of this, apparently there's a condom shortage because factories in Indonesia and India are shut down, so no one's making condoms. So it looks like, in an ironic twist of fate, millennials are going to be responsible for the next baby boom. Like, that's karma for you. No, I myself, I'm thinking I should get a vasectomy. I don't want to be like, I want to still unironically make fun of boomers. That's why. No, and I was talking to my friend, and he's like, do you know what's the difference between a regular man and a vasectomized man? Do you know how much difference there is between a regular man and a vasectomized man? Apparently, there's a vast difference.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
I'm going to say the payoff on that one was worth it. I'm going to say that. No, It's weird. Like there's nothing to do at home, I guess, apart from fight with my wife. That's why it's called quarantine. Am I right? Quarantine. We're just arguing about how there's nothing to argue over. It's weird. I don't know, guys. You know what? Thank you so much, Stacey. That's all I'm going to talk about. I hope I cheered you guys up. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sai. Thank you, as always. Up next, I'm very excited to bring up our next comedian. Please welcome Jack Williams.
Woo! Everybody, coming to you live from my bedroom. I know you're all thinking the same thing. Am I wearing pants? And the answer, yes. I am most comfortable with as many layers of clothing on as possible at all times. So this quarantine thing's getting a little bit interesting. I'm starting to make some fascinating decisions because I'm stuck at home. I bought a bike. It's kind of like the mid-20s equivalent of a middle-age crisis. My name's Jack. It's short for John. My grandfather was Bill, short for Donald. I'm from a very large Irish Catholic family. I was told for most of my life I was Irish Catholic, and then someone pointed out the religion's Roman Catholicism. I was like, I don't think you have that right. This complexion doesn't say under the Tuscan sun. It says 40, cloudy, chance of rain. My brother pointed out this morning that the UV index was 5, and I said, what's that mean? And he says, well, if you go outside, you will burn to death. I'm basically a walking case for melanoma, but the good news is if I die of strangulation, then I'll have hit all of the color spectrum for the American flag. So I decided to major in English because I really love stories. I love to read stories in all forms, poetry, fiction, all sorts. But it's kind of ironic because I'm dyslexic. So it made it a little more difficult to get through the material. Professors would hand me a syllabus at the beginning of each semester, and anticipating that it'd take me 6 times longer to finish all the material, I'd hand them back a 3-year contingency plan. You actually learn a lot of skills as an English major, critical analysis, persuasive writing, how to operate a cash register. I've done a whole bunch of different sort of customer service retail jobs. I worked at a custard place for a while. One day a woman walked in and said, hey, I'm gluten intolerant. Is a milkshake okay for me? And I said, yes, it'll be fine for you, but once I put the flour in, then it's gonna suck. I love food, and I think that all sorts of different dietary preferences and needs are fine, but I hate when people try to make things that are trying to make up for things they can no longer have. So some of you might have heard of Tofurkey, the 100% tofu turkey substitute. So I wanted to create an equitable product the other way around. So I created Turfuck-You, 100% turkey tofu substitute. I'm gonna end it there. It's been a pleasure. This is a very intimate experience, staring right at myself as I do comedy. Thank you, Stacey, and good luck to everybody else.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much. Up next, I'm really excited to welcome the always hysterical, always very funny Lauren Smith.
Hey guys, I am here today with a quarantine tip. If you are single and lonely and think you're miserable now, watch Marriage Story and then afterwards War of the Roses. Yeah, it is so much better to be alone than to be stuck with somebody who hates you. Speaking of which, I am stranded with my 17-year-old daughter who I would have feared in high school. I'm not kidding. I'm scared now. I had to change the Wi-Fi password, so she needed me alive. Now, if there's anything funny about that joke, it's the idea that at age 50, I have the faintest clue how to change a Wi-Fi password. That is not how it works. But I have parental controls on the TV. Are you proud of me?
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be. She put them there. Cost me $100 at the mall anytime I want to watch an R-rated movie. The double feature was $150 at American Eagle Online. Quarantine price gouging at its finest. And the worst part about this, guys, is that since she controls the TV, I have to be nice to her. These are a lot of work. Yeah, and that means that when she complains, which she does a lot, I can't just say white people problems. Hey, look at me, guys. She's white. And I can't agree with her. Like when she says, I'm chubby, I can't just say, yeah, you kind of are. Why don't you let me finish the ice cream? I never see another R-rated movie again. And I certainly can't encourage her. All right, hold up. I've got my wine. Stop using yours. No more. Mom! We are going to settle this one MMA style. First Blood gets to choose the next movie. Okay, you got any of y'all got siblings?
Yes.
Yes.
That is totally what your mom was thinking every time you fought. Cain and Abel's parents had money on that one. Now, I make these jokes about my daughter, but she is actually a really great kid, and she's my best friend. And I thought I was hers. Thought she told me everything. Then I brought her to a comedy room. And in that comedy room, guys, was a drunk guy. And he came up to me after my set and said, 17? Really? She seems young. Oh, sir, she is young for her age. She hasn't even had her first kiss yet. That you know of. No, really, sir, she tells me everything. I'm sitting here thinking, buddy, you don't know me. You don't know my daughter. And hell, after this many beers, you probably do know what kind of makeup I need to wear now, don't you? And then I went home and told my daughter what the drunk guy had said. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing worse than a drunk mansplainer is a drunk mansplainer who turns out to be right. Maybe I should have asked him for a makeover. Although I think he'd have had trouble getting the eyeliner straight. So here's the thing. Now, even though I am clearly not her best friend, my daughter is still mine. And not just because I'm so bad at adult relationships. I mean, I was the one talking to the drunk guy. No, she is all I have left since I let her kill her brother. Thanks so much, Stacey Axler, for the time. And everybody, please donate to Capital Cider House. I've been Lauren Waller-Smith. It's Waller, and you can find me on Facebook. Back to you, Stacey.
Thank you so much, Lauren. That was fantastic. Up next is someone I'm very excited to introduce. Very, very funny guy. Not only performs a lot of stand-up, but also hosts shows and is just very, very funny. So please welcome Jason Fliegel, everyone.
Hey, thanks, Stacey. Like everyone else, I'm stuck at home. I've been passing the time the same way everyone is. I've been binge watching. I've been binge watching CNN because I want to be even more depressed.
Oh God.
But it's not all bad news. I saw there was some good news. I solved a mystery watching CNN. I solved the mystery of whatever happened to Goofus and Gallant. And if you don't remember Goofus and Gallant, it was this comic strip that used to be in Highlights magazine for kids that would teach them right and wrong. Like Goofus would always do the wrong thing, Gallant would always do the right thing. Like Goofus eats candy for a snack, Gallant eats an apple. Gallant washes his hands before dinner, Goofus spreads COVID-19. Goofus ghosts his girlfriend, Gallant pays for the abortion, stuff like that. And it turns out these guys are still around. They're older now. They're doing hearing aid commercials, I found out, because I saw the 2 different hearing aid commercials. The first one shows a guy, he gets a hearing aid and he's so happy because he can hear his adult son say, "I love you." That's all he wants out of life. Very heartwarming. The second guy, he's at home with his adult daughter and her boyfriend, and across the room, the adult daughter who's visiting with her boyfriend whispers to her boyfriend, "Did you bring the condoms?" And the boyfriend says, "What?" And she says, "The condoms. Did you bring the condoms?" And he says, "What?" And the dad from across the room yells, "Condoms. She wants to know if you brought the condoms." Total Gallant move, looking out for his daughter, trying to get her laid. Unlike that Goofus who only cares selfishly about hearing his son say, "I love you." Or I don't know, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the guy who's trolling his daughter is Goofus. I think I need to see these guys in more situations to learn which is which. Like, I want to see them, like, which one is very polite and respectful to the waitress and which one is slapping her on the ass. Which one buys his wife a nice bottle of wine for their anniversary, which one shoplifts a bottle of tequila and drinks it by himself. Which one takes his family out for a nice dinner and which one is practicing responsible social distancing. We know who the real Goofus is these days. But being home alone, it's really affected my life, my plans. I live in DC. My girlfriend lives in Chicago. We're long distance. She was actually planning to move to DC, and then the pandemic happened and that's all on hold. So right now I'm being cock-blocked by a virus. Apparently I was supposed to prevent COVID-19 by hanging a sock on the door, maybe. I don't know. I guess we're practicing extreme social distancing. Forget about 6 feet apart. We are 6 states apart right now. But I did, in January, I started getting the apartment ready for her to move in. I started cleaning out, getting rid of stuff to make room for her stuff. You can't tell from behind me, but I got rid of a lot of books from my bookshelves. I thought, I'm never going to have time to read these. Now we're on lockdown, so the joke's on me. But I did, before everything went on lockdown, I bought myself a new vacuum cleaner so I could get my apartment nice and clean. That was actually the last thing I bought before everything locked down. And if I knew it was going to be the last purchase, I probably would have picked something more useful in a pandemic, like, I don't know, vitamins, face masks, maybe a time machine so I could escape to post-pandemic life. But vacuum doesn't do me much good now. I'm not having any visitors these days. Really, the only person who sees my apartment is my dog, and 90% of what I'm vacuuming up is his hair, so he needs to check himself, right? But before I bought the vacuum, I looked at the reviews. I bought the vacuum online. Back in the old days, you had a choice to buy stuff online or in person. Today, it's all online. But back then I bought it online and I looked at the reviews. It had really good reviews for the most part. a few bad reviews. The bad reviews all said the same thing about the vacuum cleaner. First of all, it sucks because everyone's a comedian. But second, it said the vacuum cleaner was too powerful, which is a complaint I don't get. You know, if it's too powerful, just vacuum your carpet, sprinkle some more, let me have my powerful vacuum. But I don't know what these people are complaining about, what their other reviews look like. You know, are they yelping restaurants saying, this restaurant, the portions are too big and the food is too delicious, I don't want to go here anymore. You know, they're dumping their girlfriends, like, you're too beautiful and you sleep with me too much, don't want, you know, going CVS, there's too much toilet paper, I can't decide which rolls to buy. Not a good review. But we all know people like that. When this whole pandemic is over, I guarantee you're going to go back to work. Someone in your office is going to be complaining that, oh man, I can't believe we have to come back. I was binge watching The Good Place. I only had 6 episodes left. But I have a solution to, you want the pandemic, you want the quarantine to go on. Here's what you do. When we all go back to work, when life goes back to normal, you go into the office, you go up to your boss, you say, oh, I'm so glad to be back in the office. More weeks of vacation, just like that. Hey guys, I'm Jason Fliegel. I want to thank Stacey so much for this and Capital Cider House for putting this together. This is awesome. Let's give it up for Stacey.
Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you for everything. Up next, I'm very excited to welcome someone who not just does comedy, not just stand-up, but also improv, also does poetry. So I'm very excited about this. Please welcome Sllim Williams.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be here with you all. I hope everybody is safe and healthy in this current COVID climate that we're living in. I was thinking about how being trapped in your house for months at a time will make you think a lot about relationships. So Lauren and I are simpatico. Relationships are important. I have a little bit of relationship advice for you. If you want to be with someone you think is going to be completely faithful, you should date a gamer. You don't need to worry about where a gamer is. Their gamer is in the basement arguing with children. All right, gamers don't cheat. They use cheat codes. That's what they're made. If you remember a key combination to unlimited lives and like Battletoads, Double Dragons, you don't have a mistress. You don't have like a sensual rendezvous after playing Ninja Hand. Ladies, if a man has ever played Barbie Horse Adventure, marry him. Marry him right. Because adult gamers are cool, but kid gamers are the worst. I don't play often. I don't play games often. I'm way too busy cheating on my wife to play. The few times I have played games, the kids' mouths have been filthy. One time I was murdering this little bastard in Call of Duty because he had it coming. And he says, fuck off, old man. And I was offended because he couldn't see me. So how did he know I was old? I didn't know how he figured that out. So it was a teachable moment, and I responded in a teachable manner. I said, oh, do you suck your mother's asshole with that mouth? And then he started crying, and then I never played another video game again. It brought out the worst in me, and it was the kid. I take no responsibility for kids. I take no accountability. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm not the biggest fan of kids. Take babies, for example, and really be honest with yourself. If your baby cries on an airplane, your baby's an asshole. And I don't blame the parents. I don't even really blame the baby, because if you're born an asshole, you literally can't help it, right? But you think about it, a baby's like, I'm hungry, I'm sick, or I'm like filthy, I'm shitty, and I don't have the verbal skills to tell you. So I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs until you figure out what the problem is. All I'm saying is, as a grown man, if I did that, you would call me an asshole. I know some of you guys think that's a little harsh. That's fine. You should know that there are some kids that I like. I like my kid. I'm not just biased because she's my kid. I think she's a cool kid. she's also really old. She's like the oldest person that I've ever met. On my kid's 18th birthday, we celebrated her 81st birthday. That's how Since she was in middle school, she would just come downstairs, clutching her house coat to her bosom, saying, guys, I'm so cold. I'm going to make some tea. Do you guys want some tea? By the way, I've never bought her a house coat. I've only bought her robes. Like, her elderliness turned it into a house coat. And it's 80 degrees in the house, and she's still cold. So, but my old daughter has called me juvenile more times than I can count. I remember this one time. We were driving her back from Minneapolis from Japanese camp, Minneapolis to DC, 17-hour drive. And she gets in the car. Guys, I had the greatest trip of all time. I'm in there with people who have the same interests as me, and they like the same things. And we're talking about anime, and you guys will never guess this. I won an award. I won an award for the cleanest Uchi. It felt so good to have a clean Uchi. And my wife and I did what any self-respecting adults would do. We looked into each other's eyes and we burst into laughter. Oh, and I just went off. I was like, oh, my daughter has such a clean Uchi. I'm so proud of her. It's the cleanest Uchi. Some people run around here with filthy Uchis. My daughter has an award-winning clean. Sitting in a back seat, seething with anger. And she finally just stops me. She says, guys, you guys are so juvenile. Uchi is the Japanese word for house. The word is uchi, not coochie. She folds her arms and tries to ignore us, but 20 minutes later, she was hungry and she needed to use the bathroom to rent a car. But sometimes she does consider my counsel. Just during this very quarantine, she did come over to me and she was really earnest and sincere. And she was like, yeah, I want the simple things in life. And I just want, to be able to travel and enjoy happiness. And I do want to settle down one day with someone I can depend on, someone I can trust, someone who is going to be the partner I expect them to be. And I looked in her eyes with the same sincerity. And I said, kiddo, you got to marry a gamer. That's my time, guys. I'm Sllim Williams. This is my first time ever doing stand-up comedy of this kind. So thank you, Stacey, for the opportunity. And thank you to the Cider House. Let's make sure we support them as well. Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh, that was Sllim. First time doing stand-up, and honestly, I'm shocked. Cannot believe it. Wow, thank you to all of the comics we saw today. Walter Gottlieb, Cy D, Jack Williams, Lauren Smith, Jason Fliegel, Sllim Williams, and thank you to Capital Cider House. We hope everyone is staying healthy, staying safe, and we will see you soon. Thank you.